Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunday live watch list and what we got going on for the week. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe. All right, this recording is going to be released out to everybody in a bit as soon as it's done. But welcome back, of course. We had a decent week last week. Now let's see what we have going on this week. Let's start off with some earnings. What we have earnings so far this week coming up. Monday after the close, I'm not really looking at anything other than Door. This is Door right here. Not really much of a, I would say, like, I'm not that interested into it, but interested nonetheless. But Tuesday, I like Walmart, Home Depot, Palo Alto. Those are my top three. Wednesday, Nvidia. That's the big one. Nvidia is the big one for the week for sure. Thursday, Moderna, Square. I could really, you could look at other ones as well, like Intuit, Booking Holdings, things like that. But to me, those are the top this week. You have again Home Depot, Walmart, Palo Alto, Nvidia, Moderna, and Square. Those to me are the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 earnings that we have this week. We'll jump into Nvidia as well. Just so you know, we are going to look at least one earnings that we have this week. Okay, but let's start off before we're looking at a chart. Let's look at the week of major news. Monday, as you know, it is President's Day, so the market is closed. It's a long weekend for us. Tuesday, we have economic indicators at 10 a.m. That's going to move the market, but not really that much. Wednesday, we have some Fed speaking in the minutes for January FOMC. It's not an FOMC meeting. It's just basically kind of the notes to go to the meeting. Thursday, we have PMI, existing home sales, and initial jobless claims. So Thursday is very, very heavy. This would potentially move the market a bit. So you could wait until after 10 a.m. to get into some trades, get into some position for long terms and things like that initially. All right. That's what we have for news. Of course, you do have some Fed speaking, but you should most likely get into the position a little bit after 10:30 around there on Thursday. So not that heavy when it comes to market news this week coming up. All right, let's start off and let's remove all the drawings. So let's start off with our high. Market high that we have is 503.51. As you see that, 0.50. That's what we have right here. And this was Monday, the 12th of February. That is market high on SPY. As you see, that reversal candle right up here happened, and you see it pop down here. We trickled back into that 503.5, and as you see, it's already starting to reject. On the daily here, and if you look on the 4 hour, it's already double topping right here. So that's one top. It is a second top. We do have a ton of support down here, huge levels that we have, which is what we're going to look at now. So let's go to the hourly and get some nice little levels here going on. So what I like here on SPY, I like this 496 and this 494. This little zone here, we could potentially react and pop back up into this 500. And then it probably is just going to move back down to this 490 level here. If we reach this 490 again, as we did in the middle of the week, I will be taking some calls. But as you see, this leg here of the zone looks really good for some potential move back up to around this 500. The upside, I'm not that much interested on the upside. I do believe we're going to get a bit of a pullback unless we do see some strength above this 503.5, where my target would be honestly the psychological of that 505. So I'd look to scale out a little bit before that 505. But for the downside, honestly, below that 490, you could look for a move down to this 485, even potential the 482. Now, will we get there next week? Who knows? But if we see some strength come up here at this 494, 496, I will definitely take some quick scalps, quick longs for a move up into this 500. Great area to buy for long term for sure on SPY would be down in these 480s. Even potentially the 490 as well, if you don't have any, or if you're looking to scale in certain areas. The 490 is good, and 480, 482 area as well. So that's what we got going on for SPY. Again, we're looking for a reaction at this 494, 496 for a move up to this 500 to see if it uses that as resistance, or even this 480, 498.5. As you see it, tons of action here at this 498.5. As you see it reacting all around these levels. If not, we'd like it to break and hold, come and retest this 494, 496 for a move down into this 490, where most likely you would look to shift and grab some calls in this area. That pretty much correlates to, move over to SPX so you can see, it'll be underneath this 5,000, which is a huge psychological level, and I believe we could come down into this 495. That 490 level is going to correlate to around these levels here psychologically. But again, 490 would be a little closer to that 4,900 area around there. So it's a great area. Now let's look at QQQ. And let's go to the daily. And let's see what we have going on. Pretty much the same thing. We have these highs at this 440. You could round up to 440. As you see, the high was 439.14. So let's call it between 439 to 440. That zone right there. So let's go down to the 1 hour. I like charting the 1 hour just because I get to see a little bit more. But, I mean, as you see, the 4 hour, it's telling you that it's basically going to come down to this 425. If it doesn't hold that level, it should come down to at least 421, down to last line of that 416 if we get really weak. But again, we'll see what the 1 hour has. So 1 hour, for me, I would honestly look for a move back up into these levels for a rejection, but for the upside, break and hold above that 440. For the bounce levels, I do really like this 425 down to this 424. I love this little pocket here, and as you see why, we could go back here to January where it came up, tested it, came back down, tested it, broke, used it as support, came back up, used it as support. It was just hovering around here, grabbing tons of liquidity, used it as support again, lost it, came down, used it as resistance, used it as support again, bounced several times. It's a huge level here, this 424, 425 area. So I would like to see QQQ come down to this 424, 425 area. You could potentially grab some longs here for your long-term portfolio, but if you see it kind of just in this zone here, QQQ, which is why I tend to just wait for it to break and hold above one of these two levels. That way you could actually decide and with more confidence which way you're really going to go. But for a quick scalp, quick day trade, we would like to see some confirmation down here at this 425, 424 level for a bounce, for a move back up into this 428, for basically start to take profits around here, 427, 428. If it breaks that and goes up above 430, then I do see another move up into this 435, and you could start looking at rejections up here as well. You could also start looking at a break and hold below these levels of the 424, 425 for a move down into this 415. First target would be that 420, 421, 420 area would be your first target, and then you could start looking at that 415. And if we get below that, it's a no-brainer. It'll reach down to this 400 level, and we could correlate that down here. If it breaks that 416, it's definitely going to come down and start testing these levels here all the way down to 400. As you see, that's where the last big spike happened on the 4 hour, was basically around that 400 level. All right, let's go over Tesla. As you know, we always like going over Tesla. I'm going to leave these lines here just because these lines have been here since probably 2-3 weeks, maybe even longer now. But as you see, we're back into this little channel. It finally did fill this gap. You can see the gap here on the daily from earnings. Not fully filled yet because it hasn't reached that 205, 206. You could go up to 207 basically. It hasn't completely filled that, but as you see here on the daily, it did come back down, retested that 197 area for a nice candle, looking like it's about to go and completely fill the gap up here. But if we look on the 4 hour, we see that that was the reaction that we saw. Came up, tried to test those highs again, and it came back down. So this is very, very simple what we're going to look on Tesla. We want to see a hold of this 195, 197 area. If it holds that, we would look for some calls for a move back up into this 210. You could start trimming at that 200, 202, as there was a lot of resistance during the week around these levels at that 202. So as you see here, 202, it reacted off of it, 201, 202, reacted off of these levels, came down. So it's a nice area right here of that 202. You can start trimming. Your first trim should be around that 202, and then 206, or these highs here, 205, and then a break and hold would be your last runner up into this 210 area. For the downside, it's again very simple. Break and hold below that 195, break and retest. So you want to see something kind of along the lines where it comes down, comes back up, test that 190 again, and if it breaks that, we will definitely go to that 180 down here. And for the upside, again, you're looking for this to react down here, hold, come up, retest it, test that 202, 201 is going to probably reject a little bit, and then it's going to start trailing up, holding, and then moving back a little bit higher to that 200 level. So you're looking for that right here, and that would give you basically that little cup and handle. Handle would be here, most likely come down to this 201, 202 for a move back up higher to that 210. I promise you we're going to look at NVIDIA, of course, since it has earnings. And let's go to the daily chart. NVIDIA has been a horse, a freight train. It has done whatever it really has wanted. But as you see here on the daily, it has been slowing down up here at the 750 area, 740, 750. Let's call it 745 if you want. 746 to 750. That would be the zone right up here. But as you see, it's starting to trickle down here. That's pretty much like the line in the sand. And contracts are going to be very inflated. I know if you don't have Nvidia in your portfolio, you're just going to want to buy, especially with the earnings. Now, my advice, my opinion, I would say, not really my advice, my opinion would be to wait until after earnings. You can't catch them all, every single earnings play, if it's good or bad. But let's say you do have Nvidia, it would be a nice time to maybe use some options to straddle your position. That way, if it goes up higher, you have those gains, but if it does go down lower and you're buying up at these highs, you have some more protection as well, to get some gains. But if you already have a position, it would still be really good to get some straddles up here. That way, if it does go down, you still make more money. And then that way, you could even just buy more Nvidia if it comes back down lower after these earnings. Or if it goes up higher and you make more money, of course, you should buy some more Nvidia after. All right, so as you see, it's trickling up here. It's kind of holding this area. And let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's get some levels going on here. This 730 last week was very, very crucial. It was testing it kind of back and forth, the 730. So what you could look for now is a break and hold below that 720. Break and hold below this. Come down and retest it. We'll use the brush again. Break and hold below that 720. Retest. Come back down and test the 700. You could start looking for some longs at that 700. Would be a nice area. Excuse me. That 700 looks really good for a move back up into the 720, 730. Break and hold above that 747, I would say, just to be a little bit more clear, up into that 750, and then a break and hold above that. If you want to be even safer, wait until that 750 breaks and holds. Use that and then wait for it to come back down. So I'll show you. Wait for it to break, hold that 750, come back down, retest the previous highs of that 746, break and hold that 750 again, and then wait for a move back up higher. So you want to, again, wait for it to break, hold above that 750, come back down, retest those previous highs, come back down into the zone of that 750 to 746, grab some calls there for a move back up higher. Or we would like to see that break and hold below 720 for a move down into the 710, 700 area, this whole area right here. And that's what I'm looking for this week. It's going to be a very, very interesting week, especially with all eyes on NVIDIA and AI and chips. I do believe we have tons of room in NVIDIA with all of this AI talk, cybersecurity, and things like that. So I believe it's the year of AI and cybersecurity more than just the Magnificent Seven. So I'd start looking a little bit more into getting into some Palo Alto and things like that, which Palo Alto does have the earnings this week. But as you see, it's definitely outperforming, starting to definitely take its move. As you see, the more we get into AI, the more that we need more security. And Palo Alto is a great source for that security in the internet and AI space, where I believe AI is going to move the market more. And this is an election year, so a lot more of a higher chance of a bull run. And I believe what's going to take the bull run is going to be a lot more of the security towards AI and things like that. Just because everybody's so focused on AI, and tons of news around technology, Magnificent Seven. So one of those other outliers is definitely going to be security towards AI and computers and things like that. So chip makers are going to start moving. That's why we're looking at NVIDIA, and everybody's so big on NVIDIA. and its little brother of AMD. As you see, it's at the highs as well. If you don't want to take Nvidia, you could also take AMD this week because it will definitely take some move towards it as well. But as you do see, it's starting to curl up. I would love it for it to come down to these levels and move back up higher. Now, I don't see it pulling back all the way down to this 140 unless Nvidia misses earnings. But if Nvidia misses earnings, look for a deep pullback for sure because the market's all eyes on Nvidia right now. That's what I have basically for the week. Of course, if you want to trade live with me, I'll be trading live again this whole week. This week, of course, Monday is holiday, so I'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually, no, Thursday I will be out. I will not be trading live on Thursday. It's a big week for me. I have some things going on. So Thursday I will not trade live. So catch me Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. And any knowledge, any questions and things like that, of course, I'm an open door policy, open DM policy, open YouTube policy. So any questions you have, just shoot them over. You could even send some comments down below, but don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's what I have going on for this week. Thanks everybody for watching. See ya.